Greetings and welcome to PinballHelp. Mike here. Today I'm going to talk about linkages. This is what we call a linkage. This is, in this case, this is for slingshots, but they also are for any kind of a coil, and they're parts of flippers and things like that. And it consists of the plunger here, the metal part, and then this flipper linkage, this linkage right here. And these often break, and you can order them completely assembled like this, but you can also fix the ones that are broken. So I'm going to go over the whole process of how to make your own or flip or repair broken flipper links or slingshot links or whatever. There's a plunger with the link on it. These are the more common parts here. They're thicker. These are some newer ones that are coming in from Marco's that are noticeably thinner. So I still have some of the old ones, so I'm going to use these old ones instead. So here's one that's already put together using one of the newer ones right here. First, let's find it. Here's a flipper linkage that's broken, or linkage that's broken, and you can see the part is broken. It's also been mushroomed a little bit, so there's some flaring here at the end. So I want to clean this all up, but this can be reused, and I'm going to go over the whole process of how to do that. So first, we need to get this roll pin out of here. There's a special tool that you use called a roll pin punch. It's not a regular punch. It's like a punch, but it has a little nub on the top. It's like a round part that fits over the roll pin. This is an 1/8 inch punch tool. What I've found that works best is to just put this thing in a vise, and I have these urethane things, but they don't hold all that well, so I just clamp it into the vise, and I'll show you right now. If you do it right, you won't damage the plunger. You just got to make sure that it's in there nice and tight. So let's do this. So we're going to close this thing up. Get it nice and I'll put it like oh, of course it's always going to be like that, isn't it? Okay, so really crank that thing down. Make it tight. I don't really have any my serrated edges on this vise are pretty worn, so hopefully it'll stay put. I don't want to scuff it. I don't want to really damage the plunger, but I need it to be really solid while I punch that roll pin out. So now I will take this and put this on here, give it a few taps. See, it's starting to move already. Well, it's not tight enough. Let's loosen it up, and let's go right here at the end and try to grab it there. I think that's probably going to be a lot easier because you can grab it on the... Alright, yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. And that way you also keep this side smooth, so it's not... You're not scuffing this. So yeah, this is definitely the better way to do it. So now we'll put the pin punch in there. There it is. So and you want to tap gently. You don't want to tap too much because you don't want to necessarily. You don't want to push these two things in together. You want to keep them exactly the right way. Okay, so there we've got it. Some little scuffing from this thing, but I will sand that out. Okay, so now we're going to take a new linkage and we're going to put that on here. So we're going to get a brand new roll pin, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start it before I put the linkage in. So I want to get it started through. Sometimes there's one end that's a little bit easier to start than the other, so I'll just I'm going to actually tap this till I get it started. Okay. Now I'll loosen it up. And I want it to go, I'm going to put it through just a tiny little bit more. Got to be careful not to run it too much or you have to back it back out. Okay. Here we go. I've got to stick it out a little bit so that I can feed this thing in and have it sit on that nub. Now I'm using the vise to push this thing up so it's inside of the partially roll pin that's down, so it's not going to go anywhere. And then I'm clamping to, oh, ouch, darn it, a little bit too hard. Okay, let's try that again. Put this in, open it, okay. Tighten it up just a little. Okay. Like that. Actually, in this case, I might be able to get away with just having it like that. Tap it a little bit more. There we go. So now this thing is in, and now I will tap it all the way in. I'm just going to close the vise enough so it'll sit on top of it. And tap, 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 tap. Don't need necessarily the roll pin for this, because we're not going to push it into the thing. We're just going to push it till it's flush. And there we go. That's on, nice and solid. Didn't deform anything. And it's still nice and smooth. I'll take some sandpaper and I'll smooth all these rough edges. And then I'm going to take this and fix this flared part here. And let me see if I can, I'll just go over to the little grinder over here. Let me see if I can get this on film. And we'll just sashay over here. So there's a little grinder right there. And let's fire that little thing up. Come around the other side. Move this out of the way. Fire this thing up. And I'm going to grind just a little on the edges like here. And put like a little bit of an angled lip on it. By the way, this is one of these little cheapy things from Harbor Freight. It doesn't have a tremendous amount of torque, but you don't really need it, and it'll keep you from, you can hear that engine slow down when I run this. And then I'll just go flat at it. I don't want to take too much off, I just want to smooth it. So now that that's done, I'll take a Scotch-Brite pad or some very fine sandpaper. Here we go. Here's some sandpaper. Okay, let's put it straight down here. I really got to get a camera, man. Okay. All right. So, got the sandpaper. And this, and what I will do here is I will just lightly smooth it. This is 1500. I'll also take this and put it right down here and do like that. Make sure I got it nice and smooth. Take this and just go. And you can go all the way up and down the plunger, keeping it as nice and smooth as possible if there's any dings in it or anything like that. And there you go. There's a refurbished plunger linkage for slingshots or for flippers. And it really, these things, the plungers get damaged, but see, here's a brand new one. And see, they're tapered on these new ones. The older ones, sometimes the stuff will be completely flattened, so I created my own little taper with the grinder. And I'll make one of these too. And for just a few cents, you can rebuild these parts and they're usable again. So, for more, visit PinballHelp.com. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is YouTube/PinballHelp. I've got a Twitter feed that I don't do a whole lot on. There's also a subreddit called PinballHelp. It's reddit/r/PinballHelp. And there's all kinds of goodies stuff up there as well. So, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.